Hey, welcome my friend. Welcome back to my world of programming. My name is Tumikadi. So according to the agenda, let's quickly take a look at the agenda. We are done with part 1. These are the evening sessions. So now part 2, we're going to look at controllers, but in ASP.NET Core WebAPI. So let's switch to the browser. Please, again, go and look at this YouTube channel of mine. You'll find it very interesting. Now, all the videos I'm making, including part 1, it's already uploaded by the time you watching this on this Lessons Handy Tips YouTube channel. The videos are short, simple, straight to the point. That's the whole point of what to expect when you decide to learn programming in C#, me tutoring you, right? So we're still talking about the controllers, right? We read what the controllers are in the first part, right? This still applies to WebAPI. However, there's a little bit twist to it. Good. So let's go back to the WebAPI. It's currently running. We're going to go to controllers folder. Now this one, the first thing that you need to realize after you have watched the first part of controllers for MVC, there are no views for controllers corresponding to whatever controller. For example, these ones are even versioned because WebAPI is a versioned system, right? So if we go to tips folder, we'll see that there's a topics underscore v1 controller. I bump into an issue, I remember last time before I learned how critical this is. Why did I decide to have a v1 there and not at the end? Because all the controllers, they need to end with controller. And then the v1, so that the v1 can just be right in the middle. It's going to be v2, it's going to go there, right? So, but there are no corresponding views for these controllers like MVC has. The second thing that you need to realize is a normal class. We're done with the name of the controller or name of the class. This one inherits it from controller base. Now, a normal controller in MVC world will just be controller, but this one's a controller base. That's a WebAPI language. Then you need to decorate this whole class with API controller to tell it, listen, this will be specifically API controller, right? Lastly, this one is protected the same way you protect the controllers in what? In MVC, this one you do it. However, in WebAPI, you don't use the role-based, you use the token-based system, right? So, but I do have the same global variables, which is the same assistance of services. We cover the services in our morning sessions. And then we still have the constructor the same way we do have in MVC, and we are using constructor injection to inject the service, right? Then we have the endpoint. These ones, they function a bit different. Please go and watch part 1 because then we talk about it. These are the action. Yes, they are public, they are asynchronous, they're returning action result or action result, still the same. The name of the action or name of the method, it doesn't matter. That one is up to you. However, this guy, it's a different game. This is a different one also. This is for documentation when it comes to Swagger, and I'll show you this in a second. And this guy needs to know that, okay, this is gonna have HTTP GET attribute. However, in WebAPI, it functions different. What is the route to this endpoint, right? So I think I should make a video about the routes. Next time when we meet, we're going to talk about the routes. What on earth is this? Like, what is this? We'll talk about that, especially because I have the mobile app right now running behind the scenes of the current app. It's currently in production, right? And this is real right now. Cool. So going back. Now, this guy, another thing is it should produce a response type of what? 404 not found. And then the type is going to be string, right? And we are expecting this to produce response type of 200, and the type is going to be a list of what? Get all topics response v1. There's a videos that we made where we talked about contracts, their responses and their requests. Please go and watch those videos, right? So this is critical, right? So that's the first part. Then again, we should always have a try and catch block. If something's wrong, we're using Sentry to capture those errors. And then if everything is great, then we're going to ask the service to help us with the furthering the request, right? There we go. So if something's wrong, it's going to return 404 or it's going to return 200. Good. If it's going to be 404, just going to say, hey, we could not find any approved, because there's a condition as to, you know, what kind of topics should be pulled out of the database. And then if everything's okay, we're going to return that as a list of get all topics response v1. So that's the first one. The second endpoint, this one's a search. We are searching based on a particular string, which is a search, right? Still, HTTP GET, this will be the route. It's different because this one is search. And then it produces still 404 and 200. 404 is just going to be string, which is this guy, and then 200 is going to be still a list of. And I'll show that, like I said, but there's a condition. What do you want to search? So, like I said, it's different. Like with the MVC, that one depends on the helpers such as what? The services and view models. This one still services, but also the contracts. Specifically, this one of type responses. Right, so this is how it works. Right, firstly, let me show you this guy. So this is the project in Swagger. So these guys are controllers. Whatever you see here, let's go for topics. There we go. You see topics underscore v1. That's the name of the controller. Remember that? Name of controller. It's what will be exposed where? On Swagger. And then that's why it's supposed to be like this. Number two, I have two actions, right? They are both gets, right? Get all and search. So if I say get all, I'm already authorized, so don't worry. And hit execute. I'm getting all the topics from the database. And then the web API will get me all of that. Okay, I'm having a slight challenge with my connectivity because it decided to be load shedding. I apologize for it taking this while because the towers are down. All right, so while it's still loading, it's not me, and I'm also streaming music. All right, so what happens, what I just did, it'll be the same thing that happens with this guy, right? So on both Android or iOS, you go to topics. As soon as you click here, it's gonna send a request to the service of get all topics. Do you understand? So like I said, I'm having a slight challenge with the connectivity because all my other devices are not connected. There we go. I'm glad this one picked up. What about this one? This one for some weird reason still not picking up. Okay, so this is a list of all the topics. It's a list, literally a list. Remember, we are returning a list of get all topics responses. There we go. So when we search, for example, code, I'm just gonna say go code. You see few characters, 3 characters. They're pulling code 14, code 8, code 10. So let's try to do the same thing. Oh, there we go. So we have our data finally came back. So whatever that you see here, all of this, it's what was pulled here. The name of the topic, the number of the videos for this topic, the number of tags belonging to that topic, the number of views for the videos inside the topic, and the number of likes for the videos inside the topic. So this is all the data that's been pulled from the database, right? And then let me do a quick search. When we search quickly, let's go search, try search code, hit execute. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna have to wait for this guy to go and do, but that's the exact same thing that we did here. Listen, I can teach you all of this for 25 Rand per session, and that session is a full hour on Microsoft Teams, any day from Monday to Friday, an hour, 25 Rand. If you know anyone or you yourself are interested, you see, COD pulled the code 14, code 8, code 10, only 3 results, the same way that the mobile app did. Isn't this beautiful? Just understanding controllers, like what is the purpose of controllers? Like I said, I've made so many videos that I want you to watch them. Sounds good? I'm gonna leave my numbers. Until next time.